Ever catch a younger woman giving you that look? You know the one I'm talking about, that mix of interest and intrigue that makes you wonder, is she really looking at me? Here's the thing, studies show that up to 27% of women in their early 20s are actually more attracted to men 10 plus years older than them. And today, I'm going to reveal the 8 subtle signs that you're one of those men who naturally attract younger women. Trust me, some of these might surprise you. Sign number 1, the magnetic presence. Let me share something fascinating about leadership energy that younger women instantly pick up on. You know that moment when a group can't decide where to go for dinner and everyone naturally turns to one person. If that person is usually you, pay attention. This is your first sign. I'm not talking about being the loudest voice in the room or throwing your weight around. Actually, research from Harvard's psychology department shows that what younger women are drawn to is quite the opposite. It's that quiet, unshakable confidence that only comes from real-life experience. Picture this. While younger guys are literally fighting for attention, posting every gym session on Instagram, and trying to prove themselves through flashy behavior, you're just handling things. When travel plans go wrong, you're already working on solutions. When there's drama at work, you're the calm voice of reason. This isn't something you're trying to do. It's just who you've become. Here's what makes this quality so magnetic to younger women. In their world, they're surrounded by chaos. Their peers are still figuring life out, often making decisions based on what looks good on social media, but you make decisions based on experience. You don't need to convince anyone you're capable. Your actions do that for you. If you've noticed people naturally asking for your opinion or looking to you first when things get complicated, congratulations, you've got this sign. And trust me, younger women aren't just noticing it, they're drawn to it like moths to a flame. If this description fits you, drop a 1 in the comments below. I'm curious to know how many of you recognize this quality in yourselves. Sign number 2, the emotional fortress. Here's something that might surprise you. Psychologists at the University of Michigan found that emotional stability peaks in men around their 40s. But what does this actually mean in real life? Let me paint you a picture. Remember the last time someone cut you off in traffic? While younger guys might honk, curse, or even chase the other driver down, you probably just shook your head and moved on with your day. That right there, that's emotional stability in action, and younger women are picking up on it every single time. Think about how you handle relationship drama. While younger guys are posting cryptic messages on social media or getting into public arguments, you're the one saying, "Let's talk about this privately." You've learned that real strength isn't about reacting to every little thing. It's about knowing which battles are worth fighting. This emotional stability shows up in everyday situations. When a restaurant loses your reservation, when a client meeting goes sideways, or when life throws you an unexpected curveball. You stay steady. You've developed what therapists call emotional resilience. And let me tell you, it's like a superpower in today's drama-filled world. For younger women, this quality is incredibly attractive because it represents something they rarely find in their peer group: emotional safety. When the world feels like it's spinning out of control, you're the one who can say, "We'll figure this out," and actually mean it. If you find yourself being the person others call when they need to calm down or get perspective, guess what? You've got this sign locked down. Sign number 3, life story magnetism. Let's talk about something that younger guys can't fake, no matter how hard they try: a rich life story. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about having experiences, it's about how you share them. And this might be one of your strongest attraction signals without you even realizing it. You see, when you talk about your past adventures, your career journey, or even your mistakes, do people lean in? Do conversations naturally flow deeper? A fascinating study from New York University's communication department found that storytelling ability is actually one of the most powerful attraction triggers in human psychology. Here's what makes your stories different. You're not bragging about your latest car or showing off your vacation photos, though there's nothing wrong with that. Instead, you're sharing real insights. When you tell a story about a business failure, you include the lesson learned. When you talk about travel, you discuss how it changed your perspective, not just the luxury hotel you stayed in. Young women are particularly drawn to this quality because, let's be honest, they're surrounded by guys who are still writing their first chapter. But you've got volumes of experience to share. Think about the last time someone asked you for advice. Did you just tell them what to do, or did you share a relevant story from your own life that helped them find their answer? This isn't about being a wise guru on a mountaintop. It's about naturally dropping little wisdom bombs in everyday conversation. Maybe you're comparing today's dating apps with how you met people in the 90s, or explaining why that impossible work situation isn't actually the end of the world. If you've ever caught yourself starting a sentence with, this reminds me of something that happened, and ended up holding everyone's attention, congratulations, you've got this sign in spades. Sign number 4, the authenticity factor. Here's a truth bomb for you. You've probably reached that sweet spot in life where you've stopped giving a damn about impressing everyone, and ironically, that's exactly what makes you more impressive. Let me explain why this is such a powerful sign that you attract younger women. Remember how in your 20s, you might have pretended to love certain music just to fit in, or wore clothes that weren't really you because they were trending? Well, those days are long gone. You've developed what psychologists call authentic presence, and it's like catnip for younger women who are exhausted by the performative nature of their peer group. Think about your social media, if you even use it much. While younger guys are staging elaborate photos and chasing likes, you're probably just posting what actually matters to you. Maybe that amazing steak you grilled or a real moment with friends. No filters, no carefully curated image, just you. This authenticity shows up in everything you do. You order what you actually want at restaurants, not what's Instagram-worthy. You pursue hobbies because you enjoy them, not because they'll impress others. And here's the fascinating part. Research from the University of Texas found that this kind of genuine self-expression is one of the most attractive qualities in potential partners. You know you've got this sign when younger people start telling you, I wish I could be that comfortable just being myself. They're picking up on your authentic vibe, that unshakable sense of self that only comes from years of figuring out who you really are. If you find yourself being the one who says, actually, I'm not into that, when everyone else is following the latest trend, or if you're comfortable having unpopular opinions about popular things, congratulations, you've mastered this sign. Sign number 5, the conversation master. Here's something mind-blowing. Studies show that the average person's attention span during conversations has dropped to just 8 seconds. But you're different. You've mastered what I call the lost art of real conversation, and it's making you magnetic to younger women in ways you might not even realize. Let me paint a picture. While most guys their age are busy crafting the perfect text message or thinking about their next Instagram story, you're actually listening. Not just waiting for your turn to talk, really listening. It's like having a superpower in today's world of endless notifications and digital distractions. Think about your last few conversations. Do people tend to tell you things they say they've never told anyone before? Do younger women often find themselves surprised by how long they've been talking with you? That's because you've mastered what communication experts call deep listening. And it's rare, especially in younger men. Here's what makes your conversation style different. You ask questions that make people think, not just talk. Instead of, how was your day? You might ask, what was the most interesting part of your day? When someone shares a problem, you don't jump straight to solutions, you help them explore their thoughts. This kind of emotional intelligence in conversation is what relationship psychologists call cognitive empathy. And let's talk about storytelling. While younger guys might brag about their achievements or possessions, you've learned to weave experiences into meaningful conversations. You don't just tell stories, you create connections through them. Maybe you're relating a work challenge to someone's personal situation or using a past experience to offer perspective without preaching. You know you've got this sign when people, especially younger women, keep coming back to continue conversations with you. They might say things like, I could talk to you for hours, or I've never thought about it that way before. Sign number 6, the physical presence. Let's talk about something that might surprise you. Looking mature isn't a disadvantage. It's actually one of your strongest assets. And I'm not talking about trying to look like you just stepped out of a young guy's Instagram feed. This is about something far more powerful, carrying yourself with what behavioral scientists call physical gravitas. Here's a fascinating finding from recent attraction studies. Younger women consistently rate men with mature features as more attractive for long-term relationships. Why? Because there's something about a man who's comfortable in his own skin that just can't be faked. Think George Clooney, not Justin Bieber. You might notice this sign in how people react to your presence in a room. Do people naturally make space when you walk in? Do you find yourself being offered the lead in social situations without asking? That's your physical presence at work. It's not about intimidation. It's about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are.
This shows up in subtle ways. How you maintain eye contact during conversations, your unhurried movements, the way you take your time with things instead of rushing. While younger guys might be bouncing off the walls with nervous energy, you've learned the power of being still. It's what body language experts call controlled presence.
And here's something crucial. This isn't about trying to look younger or spending hours at the gym, though staying healthy is important. It's about owning your age with style and dignity. Maybe you've got some gray hair coming in. Rock it. Those laugh lines? They're evidence of a life well lived. Research shows these signs of maturity actually increase your attraction factor to younger women who are tired of dealing with boys trying to be men. You know you've got this sign when people comment on your presence, or say you remind them of a classic movie star. It's that combination of physical confidence and mature masculinity that you can only earn through years of living authentically. Sign number 7, the resource master. Let's talk about something that's often misunderstood. When I say resource master, I'm not talking about flashing cash or driving luxury cars. I'm talking about something far more attractive to younger women. The way you manage all of life's resources, your time, energy, money, and attention. This is about mastery of life's priorities, and it's absolutely magnetic. Think about how you handle your time. While younger guys are still trying to be everywhere at once, you've learned the art of saying no to things that don't matter. You understand that time is the one resource you can't get back, and it shows in how you live. Harvard Business Review recently published a fascinating study showing that successful time management is actually one of the most attractive qualities in potential partners. It signals reliability, maturity, and emotional intelligence. When it comes to energy management, you've got something that younger men haven't figured out yet: the power of strategic effort. You know exactly when to go all in and when to conserve your energy. Maybe you work intensely during the week but protect your weekends fiercely. Or perhaps you've mastered the art of productive relaxation, those moments when you're recharging while still remaining engaged with life. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: financial resources. Yes, being financially stable is attractive, but it's not about the size of your bank account. It's about how you handle what you have. You might notice younger women being drawn to the way you talk about money. Not bragging about what you spend, but demonstrating wisdom about how you invest, save, and occasionally indulge. You understand value over price, quality over quantity, and investment over expense. But here's where it gets really interesting. You've mastered the most attractive resource of all: your attention. In an age where everyone's distracted by their phones, you know how to be fully present. When you're in a conversation, you're all in. When you're working on something, you're focused. This kind of intentional attention is rare, and younger women notice it immediately. You know you've got this sign when people regularly come to you for advice about life decisions, especially financial ones. Or when younger colleagues ask you about work-life balance. It's not because you're perfect, it's because you've learned to manage your resources in a way that creates a stable, fulfilling life. Think about the last time someone said, "I wish I had my life together like you do." That's the sign in action. It's about having your priorities straight and your resources aligned with what truly matters to you. Sign number 8, the emotional intelligence master. This final sign might be the most powerful of all because it's what sets you apart in today's emotionally disconnected world. We're talking about emotional intelligence, but not the basic kind they write about in self-help books. This is advanced level stuff that only comes with real-life experience. Let's break down what makes your emotional intelligence different. While younger guys are still trying to figure out their own emotions, you've developed what psychologists call emotional granularity, the ability to precisely identify and understand not just your feelings, but those of others. It's like having emotional HD vision while others are still watching in standard definition. This shows up in countless ways. You can read a room the moment you walk in. You notice when someone's energy is off, even if they're smiling. You can tell the difference between when someone needs advice and when they just need to be heard. These aren't just party tricks. They're high-level emotional skills that younger women find incredibly attractive because they're so rare in their peer group. Research from the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence shows that this kind of emotional awareness is one of the strongest predictors of relationship success. Why? Because you've learned to navigate emotional complexity with grace. When conflict arises, you don't just react. You respond with understanding. You know how to de-escalate tense situations, how to validate feelings without getting wrapped up in drama, and most importantly, how to maintain your own emotional center while supporting others. Think about the last time you handled a difficult situation. While others were getting triggered and reactive, you probably stayed calm and looked for the emotional undercurrent. That's not just maturity, that's emotional mastery. You've learned that most conflicts aren't about what people say they're about, and this insight makes you incredibly valuable in both personal and professional relationships. But here's what really sets you apart. You're comfortable with emotional intimacy without being needy. You can have deep conversations about feelings without getting lost in them. You know how to be supportive without trying to fix everything, and perhaps most attractively, you understand that emotions aren't good or bad, they're just information. You might notice this sign when younger women tell you they feel safe talking to you, or that they can be themselves around you. That's because your emotional intelligence creates a space where others can explore their feelings without fear of judgment or unwanted advice. If you've ever found yourself naturally mediating conflicts, being the go-to person for emotional support, or being told you understand people better than most, then you've got this sign in spades. This kind of emotional intelligence is like a beacon for younger women who are looking for deeper, more meaningful connections.